Well, this is in Indian wartime. Mother and Father was sent to help settle Moroni in Sanpete County in '59. And of course, they had to build forts all around, for about 10 blocks. And everybody had to live in the forts. And then they drew lots for fields and for their homesteads. And while they were shut up in the fort, the men would all get out, and plow and rake and plant food and raise stuff in the fields. And then they'd help one another build homes so that when they got peace with the Indians, Brigham Young said it was better to feed the Indians than to fight them. And they thought when they got through and did make peace with them, why, they'd be able to move in their own homes. It took years and years before they did move out, but finally, when they did, they could all move in their own homes. But this Paul and Mose Draper, they were brothers. They drew lots, for their land and for their lots of home. And theirs happened to be a mile out of town, but they're just across the road from one another. Well, one day, you see, they didn't have much money, but they had to save their eggs and take them to the store. So Rachel said one morning, she says, "It's a beautiful morning now." This was the mother. She says, "I've got to go to town." She says, "I've got to go to the store." So Julie, she says, "You take the children out and play and have a good time, but you be sure to watch the roads, both going south and coming east." But she said, "Be careful, and if you see any Indians come, run in the house and shut the doors." Well, they played on, and every once in a while they run to the house to watch if there's any Indians coming. Finally, after a long time, they saw 2 squaws coming along the road, coming east. So she said, "Well, now then, every one of you get your hats and bonnets, and let's get to the house." She had to get the baby and carry him in. And she said, "Now crawl under the table." Well, she thought, them days they had wooden knobs. They were just stationary. And under the knob was a hole they could put their finger in, and then there was a latch that they could raise the latch up, and walk in. And the Indians knew about this. They never stopped to knock or anything. They'd walk right in. Well, Julie, she thought, "Well, now what will I do? If she sticks her finger in there, I can't hold that latch down. I won't have strength to hold her finger down. She's bigger than I am." And she saw a butcher knife on the table. Her father had just been killing pigs the day before. She said, "One of you hand me that butcher knife." She says, "And if she sticks her finger through here, I'll cut it off." Well, it took such a long time before they heard the 2 women jabbering along the walk. Finally, they stood there and talked for a second or two, and then one of them put her finger through. Down come a knife, and off went her finger. Oh, she cried and begged, and they walked around there and begged for her finger. Julie said, "If she puts another one in, I'll cut that off too." But the Indian knew a trick worth 2 of that. She didn't dare do that. Well, they walked around for a long time, then finally they went away. And as soon as she went away, Julie went and swept the finger out of the house and into the dooryard. A little while, the mother back, she says, "What the world's all this blood on the floor?" And they told her what had happened. She said, "You better get your hats and bonnets and let's go over to Uncle Paul." Said, "Come and they'll kill us all." Yes, they will. They'll kill every one of us. And they'll set fire to our home, the Krell. So they went across the street to Uncle Paul's, sit watching for the Indians. And Mose wasn't home, you know. He was out in the fields. Well, after a long time, here come two men and two women. And here they come over there, and they was looking all around. They finally seen this finger. They picked it up and tried it on her hand. But they didn't try putting their fingers through the door, none of them. They stayed there a long time, and Rachel was just terrified. She was just afraid they'd set fire to the house and everything. But they didn't. When they got the finger, they tried it on the swallow, and then talked a little while. Then they left. And after a while, Mose come home. Then did they all run and tell him what had happened. He says, you can thank your lucky stars that they didn't set fire to the krill and everything else, he said. That was all.